What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video of the game development series. So let's see where we left off in the last video. We basically have our power-up object right here. We got our cherry, and right now if I jump, I can only jump once. As soon as I get that power-up, I cannot jump twice. Double jump. Alright, so that's pretty much where we left off. So let's get back into building things. Okay, don't mind that. Alrighty, so let's see. Let's grab a screenshot of what we have. Cherry and screenshot time. And let's see. Let's see what Gemini has to say. Scale this up a little bit so it's easier for you guys to see it. Drop that screenshot in there. Let them know. Implementation complete. I used cherry frame 0. My one I animated at some point. I used the cherry sprite. Maybe add a glow circle, animated circle around it. Not too much work, so it looks like a power up. And let's see where it wants me to move on from here. But where do we take this project from here? Okay, so cherry is placed perfectly according to Gemini. Naturally guides the player into picking it up. Power up polish. Okay. You can just drag the rest of the cherry slice frames directly onto the cherry object. Okay, if it's not too much work, let's just do this. Import, Okay, I'll skip this part for now, but let's just animate the cherry and see if it works. So, let's get back to our art. Is it items, fruits, cherries, and we already sliced and diced it in the last one, so just drag and drop, see what happens. Okay, it creates this animation. Let's go back to our animations folder. Animations, and it should be cherry idle, cherry underscore idle. Save it. And probably want to rename this to rename double jump power up. It's a bit of a long name, but double jump power up. Let's see if that did the trick. All right, look at that. Okay, the only other thing I want to do is change how fast that animation plays. So go back to the animations folder and click on cherry. Should pull this animator window up. Click on cherry idle and set the speed to 3. Now let's play the game, and it looks much better. Try again. All right, animated cherry looks good to me. Cool. That was easy. For the glow effect, the quickest method without migrating project to universal render pipeline for 2D lighting. White circle spray, place it behind the cherry, and attach a simple script that smoothly scales it up and down using. Uh, we'll skip this part for now. We have a functional, okay, so where to take the project next? We have a functional character, hazards, collectibles, a win state, UI, and power-up system. To evolve this from a mechanical prototype into a complete game loop, here are the most logical next steps. So first things first, enemy or top point, enemy combat. Right now, the Ninja Frog is essentially just a moving spike trap. We can implement standard platformer collision logic. So I was actually thinking about this. Jumping on top of the enemy destroys it, while walking into its sides hurts the player. We could do that. Moving platforms, a staple for level 2 traversal. This requires a script that moves a platform between two waypoints and temporarily parents the player to the platform so they don't slide off while standing on it. Moves a platform between two waypoints and temporarily parents the player to the platform so they don't slide off while standing on it. Ah, nice, nice. Yeah, I like that idea. That could be something for. We could add that to level 2. Why not? Audio integration, picking up audio source for jumping, picking up points, unlocking, and double jump and music in the background. Core menus, building a main menu scene with the start game button and a basic pause menu. So I like all these ideas. Um, I've already done the cherry animation drag and drop. I'll hold off on the pulsing glow effect unless it's super simple. Would a seasoned game dev do out of all the possibilities we just discussed? And I'll just zoom in a little bit more, maybe, for fellas with a small screen. Okay, so it says the pulsing glow is actually super simple. You just place a semi-transparent white circle sprayed image spray behind the cherry and attach a one-line script to its update method. Okay, let's use a basic sign. Okay, super simple. For the next major step, a seasoned developer approaches this. Much like architecting a robust deployment pipeline or a containerized system, you lock down the core functional foundational logic before scaling up level content or building the application shell. Therefore, enemy combat is priority. All right, so right now your Ninja Frog is functionally identical to a spike trap. You already said that. Fatal side collision and a victorious top-down stomp completes your core interactive physics loop. Once your baseline character interactions fully operational and containerized, scaling the project with new hazards or menu architecture becomes significantly cleaner. All right. You know what? Since this is super simple, let's just go with that. Cool. Let's go with the cherry glow, but I do not want to spend more than 5 minutes on it. Otherwise, let's move on to the enemy collision or enemy combat. All right, so it says it's gonna take exactly 2 minutes. Step one, create the glow object. Okay, follow these steps in the hierarchy. We're gonna right click our cherry zero object, which is now renamed to double jump power up. Right click, Select 2D object, sprites, and probably a circle. All right. Yeah, circle is probably the best. Okay. And rename the child object to glow. And sprite renderer, click the color field, sprite renderer, right here, color. Choose white or pale. It's already set to wild or pale yellow. Maybe pale yellow. What do you think? I like maybe this color. Yeah, sure. All right. Lower the alpha down to around 100 for soft transparency. So alpha should be 100, maybe a little bit more, 150. 25. Okay, I like it. I like 125. And set its order in the layer to -1. Order in layer -1. And scale it up slightly in the transform. Okay, so X should be 1.5, Y should be 1.5. I was actually liking 1. It doesn't look that bad, so I'll leave it as 1 and see where things go. Because our cherry object is pretty small, so. Alright, so now moving on to step 2. We're going to create the script. So go back to our scripts folder. And we're going to create a new script. So right click, create scripting. Scripting, where the hell? Oh, yeah, right there. Scripting, empty C# script. And Paul's effect is the name. Okay, so pulse effect. Open it up. Back to Gemini, and we're just gonna copy. See what happens. Store the initial size so it pulses relative to the inspector scale, and then smoothly scale up and down using a sine wave based on time. So this is all our mathematicians will know what's going on here, but I will just copy and paste it. Save it, go back to the game, and we wait for it to compile. All done there. See what happens. Da, da, da. Look at that. No, no. It's not doing what we want it to do, is it? Oh, of course it's not. Stop the game because we missed a bunch of steps. Or just one step, simple step. Drag the pulse effects script onto your new glow child object and then hit play. So let's do that. Glow, pulse effect, drag and drop right there. Pulse effects in place. So now let's hit play, see what happens. Yay! Look at that, it looks pretty good. Wonder if we can do like a halo instead of the full circle. Right. It's a bunch of extra effort, but what about maybe a circle within a circle? Which would be what I want. Unless Gemini has a better idea. Let's see. Is it too much work to turn the circle into a halo? And grab a screenshot, of course. By the way, my computer is being kind of slow today. I don't know if it's because... Yo, what the hell? I don't want you to generate an image. But let's see if it actually generates an image or... Okay, cool. Instead of creating a new script with complex lighting, you can just simply change the spray used by the glow object. Alright, so circle is filled, a primitive, a seasoned depth solution that... What the hell? Okay. Seasoned depth solution that keeps the simplest to make a quick semi-transparent ring spray in the pixel art editor and use that. Bro. Okay, anyway, we're gonna hold off on that for now. It doesn't look that bad, right? Doesn't look that bad at all. It looks pretty good. So we'll leave that for now. Come on. Um, I'll leave the circle as is for now. And let's see how much we can get done with the... Let's get started with enemy combat collision logic. Okay. So to implement a classic platformer combat, we need to distinguish between the player landing on top of the enemy, which is a successful stomp, versus walking into the side of the enemy, taking damage or dying. Most reliable way to calculate this in a 2D game is by comparing the y-axis position of the player and the enemy when they collide. So we're gonna update our patrol enemy script and replace the contents with this code. And then step 2. Okay, let's do one step at a time. So go back to our patrol enemy script. Yeah, let's just do a quick comparison. Ta-ta. Alright, so we got our just wants me to replace all of this with this. That okay, if we got the collision with the player right here. Oh, okay, it just wants me to update a couple of functions. Doesn't look like it. On collision enter to D. So this looks like the only function we need to pretty much update and leave the rest as is. So what else we got? Yeah, we're just gonna replace the code inside the on collision enter to D function and leave the rest as is. Okay, so let's see what happens. And I'll just... So all it does right now is just, if you collide, it just reloads the current scene. So I'll just comment this section out temporarily before I delete it. Paste it. Paste the code given by Gemini, and it's gonna throw a couple of errors, I'm assuming, because it wanted me to declare a couple of variables. So combat settings. Da, 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 da. Okay. Paste those variables in here. Eh, not there. Not there. I'll paste it here under all the variables we have so far. Right there. Looks good. And what else do you want me to do? So let's go to step 2. Do you want to read the function? Oh, what is going on here? Level statements must precede namespace and type declarations. Huh? Oh, okay, yeah. This curly bracket is causing problems there. That's the extra one, so I just deleted it. Okay, save this. Go back to the game. Compilation time. All done. So let's go back to Gemini and again follow along these steps. For on collision, enter 2D to trigger properly. Unity requires physical collisions rather than overlapping zones. Based on your previous screenshots, you should already be set up correctly, but verify these two things on your patrol enemy object. Capsule collider 2D ensure trigger. This trigger is unchecked. Okay. Unchecked? Really? Okay. Let's just read that function real quick, see if we can make sense out of it. So on collision enter 2D, first thing it does is checking if the object colliding with the enemy is the player. So just compare tag function there. Calculate if the player is physically above the enemy's center point. Okay. So this is the the math we're doing to calculate the hit from above. So this boolean will be true if collision.transform.position.y is greater than transform.position.y plus top collision offset. What is this? Did we declare this somewhere? Yeah. And if hit from above, so if we are hitting that enemy from above, then that's a stomp. Reset the player's downward velocity, then apply the upward bounce force. Okay, and then destroy the enemy. Otherwise, player hit the side or bottom, so respect the global win state we set up earlier. So this is where we restart the level, which is what we do, what we did here, and it looks good. So let's try it. Any steps? Did we miss anything? So yeah, so select the patrol enemy object asset, and we're gonna select the prefab patrol enemy, and is trigger is unchecked already, so we good. And now rigid body 2D. Ensure the body type is set to dynamic or kinematic, so it registers physics impact. So let's do that. Rigid body 2D. Rigid body 2D. Body type is set to dynamic. So it registers physics impact, so we should be good there as well. And now how to tune it? No, before we tune it, let's see if it does the job we want it to do. All right, moment of truth. Moment of truth. Yay. Yay. That looks pretty good. That's pretty sweet. One more time, just for fun. Boom. And you know what? We got to make that balance not so high, right? So bounce force should probably be, I don't know, 5F. I'm happy with 5F, and the other thing we want to do, I'll set the bounce force. Nah, I don't need to tell you that. Uh, but what I want to happen is, can we quickly make the update the script so that the enemy becomes half its size vertically before disappearing? Or is it too much work? See what happens. Because I don't want it to just vanish instantly. Okay, good to hear. Very little work. We don't even need any complex animations. You can just instantly scale the enemy UI-X down 50% through code. So disable its collider so it doesn't hurt the player anymore, and then delay the destroy command by a fraction of a second so we see the squish. Alrighty, so squish logic added. Go back to our script and open up on collision, enter 2D function there. Okay, hit from above, transform. So these are the pieces of code we're gonna add up until our destroy command right there with a 2-second delay. Nice, it's got the built-in parameter for, or not 2 seconds, 0.2 seconds that we can just pass. So very, very simple. And we're getting rid of, oh no, we're not getting rid of that. So just inside, just replace this line with this. And da 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 da. All good, all good. Cool. Let's test it out. Save it. Compile it. Is my camera frozen? How long has that been frozen for? Anyway, guys, I don't know why my camera's frozen, but we're near the end of the video anyway, so is there an exception error here? I don't see an error. I don't know where this null reference exception is coming from, but we're gonna play the game and see what happens if we jump on top of that enemy. Nice, nice. I like it. But even 5 is too much. I'll do, for the bounce, I'll do like maybe 2F. Alright, game is all compiled. Now let's test it out. Yeah, we're double jump in place. So I'll use that. And boom. Even 2 is giving us that much power. Balance force is still 15. That's the problem, you know. The script. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll fix it in the next one. But we got the logic down, and seems like for some reason my camera's not working, so sorry about that. And I'll see you in the next video.